Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me for coffee break. My let's make it in 15 minutes or less, something that you can do during your coffee break. My name is Sandy McManus and I'm with needsaribbon.com. And today we're going to make this adorable card which uses the Parcels and Petals stamp set. And there is a coordinating die that makes a box kind of thing. I have actually not played with the die. I own it. There's this, and it currently can be found on page 37 of this annual catalog, 2020-21 annual catalog. It was in the previous annual catalog, so it makes a perfect parcel die. So it's tried and true, and so let's get started. And on this card, I made my own background paper. That is one of those techniques that I fall in love and out of love. I found I've been doing it a lot lately because I did not order a lot of the designer series papers. Don't know why, and by the way, cheers. I just didn't. So I've been having to make my own using this technique. This is not a new technique. And if you notice on the card, I do not use any dies, folders, any big machine work. It is pretty much just straightforward stamping and a little punching, which actually you wouldn't even need to do that. So I have pre-cut my pieces to save some time today. And this is a what would you call it? A portrait open card. I designed it that way I just did. Sometimes I like that because I think my initial thought was I was going to run the ribbon all the way around, and that just makes it easier. Anyway, so I've pre-cut. It is a standard sized card. Here is my card base. And then here is my card layer, which is in the new Misty Moonlight, which is an in color from 2020 to 2022. It will be an in color. And we got to pause. Okay, I'm back. I realized that I hadn't cut, or I didn't have extra of the white layer to stamp on. That was interesting. Not a mistake I normally make. But it happens. Okay, so we're going to make our own background paper, and we're going to use 3 of the 2020-2022, that is a mouthful to say, in colors: Magenta Madness, Just Jade, and Misty Moonlight. So let's get started with the biggest element, which is this image, or this image, from the Parcels and Petals stamp set. And we're going to stamp that in Magenta Madness. Ooh, I have a thing on my ink pad. That is, I don't even know what that was. Anyway, so we're going to ink up our stamp. And the rule, if you've never made your own background paper, the rule of filling up your paper is always go off each edge. That's how you get the most natural look. And make sure you present your elements in an odd number, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, depending on what it is. So I'm going to, see, I get off. That was cheating a little bit, but 2. Count with me. We'll rotate so it doesn't look so perfect. That was 3, 4, and you see how big this is. You really only need, and now I've got to try and squeak that in there so it looks like it was meant to be. 5. Okay, maybe we'll add one little flower over there where it's kind of empty. See? Easy peasy. We're going to close that ink pad before I get my fingers in it. And next we'll do the leaf in Just Jade, another 2020 to 2022 in color. Since I kind of oriented it that way, remember, stamp off all 4 edges, so I always get those out of the way first so I don't forget. Just has to even be a tiny bit. We'll rotate 4. So there's our 4 of them. And let's count. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it looks like I did 9 or 11. I can't really see. Whoop. So we'll go 5, 6, 7, 8, and maybe down in here since that area. So 9. You kind of following me? Put our Just Jade away. And then our final element is this little, almost a fleur-de-lis looking thing. It's actually just an outline of a flower, a very stylized flower, which you have a bulk of them there. Ooh, I better watch out. I have Magenta Madness on my thumb and I'm transferring it places. So again, make sure you go off the edge. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, and we'll go in there 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, because I know my elements will probably fall in there, so why stamp there? So that ends our stamping besides our greeting here. We'll put these aside and we're going to use the Somebody Loves You Lots greeting, and because where is it? Behold the power of TV. It's already stamped. So we'll just pretend. How about that? We'll pretend that I put it on a block, ink it, and then stamp it. In the misty moonlight. And to cut these little banner pieces, a couple ways you can do it. This is our triple banner punch, and if you push your paper all the way to the end, you can see you lose a lot of the length. What I tend to do is I flip my punch over. So yeah, if you push it all the way in, you have to, if you want something to be X length, you need to make sure you account for that on 2 sides or 1 side. And that's 1/4 to 1/2 inch. I can't remember the exact measurements. So what I do is I flip my punch over and just nestle it so it just catches it. Let's do that again. So I slip it in there, and this isn't just for the narrow one, it's for all of them. If I want to be conservative with my paper, I just flip it over there until it's past the bottom of the paper, and like that. So that's just a little tip. Or I have some more paper, so I can show you another way to do it. If you don't have the punch, is to cut up the middle of the end, and then you go in and so let's see that again. You pick the middle of the end of your paper, go in a certain distance, and then you just cut over to that valley. So those are 2 ways you can get those banner points. Okay, let's finish our card. So on my project here, I actually did rough up the edge. So there's usually multiple ways to do something. So to ruffle up the edge, you can either take your scissor and kind of just drag it along at an angle and ruffle it up. But because I have this really long thumbnail right now, I've been using, or this one. You can use your fingernail or thumbnail if you have a really long thumbnail, and go in there and just kind of play with it. I don't want the middle to be all wrinkled. I just kind of want it roughed up a little bit to give it a little texture. Because again, I didn't use any folders or embossing folders or any machine work on this. So that's one way. And I flipped it upside down. I can tell that because of my elements there. So let's assemble our card because our coffee break will be over soon. So we'll put some, I use glue. You can use we have multiple different kinds of adhesive, or use the adhesive of your choice. I tend to like glue because I know it's going to hold, and it gives me that little bit of time before it sets to see, kind of slide it around, spread the glue, and reposition if I've made a boo-boo. So this one went on squarely to the card base, but this layer does not. And again, it's not raised up or anything, that's just glued down. So I'll probably, what I usually do is I slide it down squarely so I know I'm generally there, and then I spread the glue around just like this. So there is that element. And next we have, again, when I was originally designing this card, I was planning on running a ribbon around that, and I decided, A, I didn't have enough ribbon because this was for a card swap. Didn't have enough ribbon, and B, how else can I fool the system? Strip a cardstock in a coordinating color. And you noticed I ran it so it goes beyond my white layer, and so it just kind of blends in with that background. There we go. We get that down, and we're gonna pop this up with dimensionals. Still one of the best inventions by Stampin' Up, because it uses every ounce of this paper, and I use my edges for projects too. We'll put that down, and then we're going to add the coordinating Misty Moonlight kind of ribbon. I'm trying to see what kind of ribbon they call it. They just call it the In Color ribbon. I can't remember what style this is. It's like a woven ribbon, a cotton woven ribbon. Oh, it's polyester, but it feels like cotton. And it has kind of a direction to it, a little slight herringbone direction. And behold, the power of TV. Or movie magic, as they say. And I've already tied a bow. Pre-tied. I wasn't cheating. I actually had some extra ones from when I did the swap. And I'm going to put that on a glue dot, and I'm going to put that right there. And behold, during the power of your coffee break and my coffee break, I have made this adorable card. Now to find someone special to send it to. So thank you for joining me for this edition of Coffee Break, and we'll see you real soon.